In England, the newest season of Big Brother has become a massive hit. The contestants are spending their time inside the house, going through their daily routines, which essentially means they're doing very little. At the TV studio, the production crew is preoccupied preparing for eviction night, leaving no one paying attention to the news. Outside, London has erupted into chaos as riots spread and several people are confirmed dead. The city is quickly quarantined, and authorities forbid anyone from entering or leaving. On the outskirts, Reek is trying to call his girlfriend Kelly, but she won't answer. He soon spots a couple with a child asking for a ride, so he pulls over to help them. Meanwhile, at the studio, a pre-show party is underway where several former contestants from past seasons make cameo appearances. News reports continue warning about social unrest and a mysterious infection, but everyone ignores it. Producer Patrick receives a call from two guest celebrities informing him they can't make it because the roads are blocked. Patrick angrily tells them to find a way anyway. Out on the road, the guest driver spots a wrecked car and steps out to investigate. He's horrified when the supposed dead body suddenly comes to life and lunges at him. Back at the studio, Patrick finally switches on the news and discovers that riots have spread to Newcastle and Liverpool, with reports of dead police officers among the victims. He grumbles that their show might get interrupted for a breaking news broadcast. Employee Kelly is wandering the set, trying to understand more about the show's production. Her phone rings while she walks behind one of the house mirrors, which the contestants can hear. Patrick immediately scolds her over the intercom, so she declines Reek's call. Since her phone keeps ringing, she climbs to the roof to finally answer it. Reek tells her the couple he picked up stole his car, and now he's waiting for a train to get home. Kelly insists she's busy and can't talk. Reek accuses her of cheating on him with co-workers to climb up the corporate ladder. The two argue, but the call cuts off as their phones lose signal. At the train station, the display board stops working as well. Back in the studio, Kelly returns to find that no one has cell service anymore. While searching through some paperwork in an office, she's approached by Danny, who's clearly in the mood for something more personal. The news continues reporting disaster, fires are spreading nationwide, but fans are still gathering outside the studio gates. Host Dana, who also presents The Real Show, contacts the contestants to announce that Peepo has been voted out. On the road, the two guest passengers are speeding toward the studio because their driver has been bitten and needs medical attention. Since their GPS isn't working, they decide to head for the studio, assuming the on-set doctor can help. Moments later, the driver dies just as they arrive. His eyes suddenly turn white as he reanimates. When no one exits the car, a guard walks over and shines his flashlight inside, only to find the driver's grotesque, undead face. Meanwhile, Danny steps outside to grab something from a nearby store and discovers one of the guests eating the guard alive. The zombie outbreak has officially begun. Inside, Dana welcomes the evicted Peepo for an interview, while the control room team notices the news broadcast signal has gone dead. Outside, the undead guests attack the gathered fans, sparking chaos as people scream and scatter. Many are bitten, and within moments, even more zombies appear. Panicked, Danny rushes into the control room, but the zombified guest leaps on him and tears him apart. The rest of the staff panic and flee. Patrick runs down a corridor and locks the door behind him, trapping a coworker outside to die. He ducks into a bathroom, shoving a man in a wheelchair out as bait while he hides inside a stall. In her earpiece, Dana hears screaming and confusion. The contestants inside the house can also hear shouting from outside, but assume it's just overexcited fans. Soon, terrified survivors begin storming into the studio looking for shelter, with more zombies close behind. One of them tackles Dana, killing her instantly. The production crew and former contestants are slaughtered one after another, transforming into the undead. Inside the house, the current contestants remain oblivious, still partying. In a nearby office, Kelly is arguing with another employee, someone who previously had an affair with Danny, when zombie Danny bursts in and kills his ex immediately. He lunges at Kelly, who sprints away and barricades herself in another office by shoving a cabinet against the door. As Danny pounds on the door, Kelly tries using the phone but finds it dead. She turns on the TV and catches a fleeting news report about nationwide attacks before that signal fails too. Breaking down in fear, she eventually falls asleep. The next morning, the contestants inside still have no clue what's happening beyond the walls. Only Space begins noticing oddities. There's no morning alarm, no scolding for leaving microphones off, and the diary room won't open. He realizes the cameras aren't following him either, and warns the others that something's seriously wrong. Meanwhile, Patrick finally emerges from the bathroom after the zombie leaves. The man he used as bait has turned into a zombie too, but since he can't move the wheelchair, Patrick slips away safely. He hurries down the corridor and runs into a zombified Dana, who immediately chases him. He bolts into a room and finds Pippa hiding there, still alive. Kelly wakes in her office, peers out the window, and sees bodies everywhere. With no working phones or TV, she decides to risk leaving. Armed with scissors, she opens the door and spots Danny still feeding on his victim. When he notices her, she retreats, trying to close the door, but he forces it open and tackles her. Kelly repeatedly stabs him with the scissors until one pierces his skull, finally killing him. She then runs down the corridor but encounters another zombie that starts chasing her. Kelly rushes down the stairs and escapes outside, locking the door behind her. Another zombie grabs her ankle, forcing her to stab it to death. She scavenges a set of keys from a corpse, hoping to steal a car, but more zombies appear and chase her again. Kelly slips through a fence, locks it behind her, and re-enters the studio from another side. This time, she wanders into the hallway connected to the Big Brother house and overhears the contestants arguing about what might be happening. Around the corner, she spots a zombie eating a body. It immediately charges at her. Kelly darts into the first open door and ends up in the diary room. After composing herself, she steps into the house. The contestants cheer, thinking she's a new player. Kelly warns them about the zombies, but they laugh, assuming her bloodstains are fake makeup. Frustrated, she screams at them, but they keep mocking her. Marky jokingly touches the emergency exit button, and Kelly threatens him with her scissors. Thinking it's still part of the show, Marky opens the door, only for a zombie to burst in and tackle him. Half the group flees, while others try to help, but the creature bites Angel's leg. Kelly grabs a fire extinguisher and bashes the zombie's head repeatedly until it dies. Finally, the contestants realize Kelly was telling the truth. They panic and want to escape, but Kelly insists they can't leave. She leads them to the roof to show the horde swarming outside. At the same time, Reek wakes up at the deserted train station and realizes the trains are no longer running. He sets out on foot and comes across a truck. When he hears growling nearby, a zombie suddenly charges, forcing him to sprint away. He ends up downtown and hides inside a store, blocking the door with a refrigerator. A woman named Alex appears, shooting the zombie in the head. She almost shoots Reek too until he convinces her he's human. She makes him gather supplies, and they escape in her car. Unfortunately, the car soon breaks down in the middle of the road. Reek tries fixing it while Alex shoots at any zombies approaching. As night falls, a massive horde finds them. Unable to shoot them all, they run until they reach a house, climbing the fence for safety. Inside, they're relieved to find it empty. Alex angrily slaps Reek for failing to repair the car and admits she's out of bullets. Back at the studio, Patrick and Pippa argue endlessly inside their barricaded office. Patrick eats leftover food from the party table and deliberately burps to irritate Pippa. When nature calls, he urinates in a trash can. Later, startled by nearby noises, he soils the same bin again out of fear. Inside the house, Kelly cleans up zombie remains and disposes of the body. Hours later, Angel begins convulsing. Kelly wants to kill her before she turns, but the others refuse, so they agree to tie her up in the greenhouse instead. Grayson, who used to be a nurse, says he could help her if he had better medical supplies. Kelly decides they need to risk going out. She tells Space and Marky about a nearby supermarket where they might find what they need. It's dangerous, but if they don't act, they'll starve. On the roof, Space makes loud noises to lure zombies toward one side of the compound, giving them a distraction. Joplin and Veronica join in by banging pots and yelling. Once the undead are drawn away, Kelly, Space, and Marky sneak out through the back. They reach the car, but Marky takes too long locking the gate and gets spotted. The others shout warnings as he sprints to the car, barely making it inside, though he injures his arm on a metal shard. They arrive at the supermarket, where Space stays in the car while Kelly and Marky enter. Kelly tosses a can to test for danger, but no zombies appear, so they start gathering supplies. Meanwhile, Reek notices on a nearby TV that Big Brother is still broadcasting, though only from one fixed camera. Alex fiddles with the radio and hears a French station mention the word shelter. At the store, Space sees a police car and waves to get attention. Officers Bob and Den approach with guns raised, lowering them after confirming he's not infected, and even recognizing him from TV. Inside, Kelly and Marky finish collecting what they can, but Marky drops something, drawing two zombies. They sprint toward the exit, and when the cops see the undead, they open fire. One zombie goes down, but the other bites Bob before Den shoots it. Realizing Bob is infected, Den executes him immediately. When Den spots Marky's wounded arm, he assumes it's a bite and aims his gun. Kelly grabs Bob's weapon and shoots Den in the leg. Another zombie appears, so the trio seizes Den's gun too and flee, leaving him to be devoured. Back in the house, Veronica is taking a shower when Joplin sneaks into the production hallway to peek at her through a hidden window. She quickly realizes what he's doing and yells at him, forcing him to walk away embarrassed. Meanwhile, in the greenhouse, Angel is struggling to move, so Grayson takes pity and unties her restraints. Minutes later, she dies. Grayson raises the scissors, preparing to stab her before she turns, but at that moment, she reanimates as a zombie. Moments after, Veronica sees Grayson staggering from the greenhouse with his throat slashed and runs to help him. Before she can react, the zombified Angel lunges and tackles her. Joplin, watching from inside, slams the door shut to keep them out. Grayson, though bleeding out, manages to shove Angel into the pool. As a zombie, she can't swim and remains trapped there. Thinking it's safe now, Joplin joins Veronica. Soon, Grayson succumbs to his wounds and also transforms into a zombie. Veronica and Joplin dash back into the house and barricade the door. Veronica insists they must kill the zombies before others try to enter, but Joplin admits he can't fight. She slaps him in frustration. He then bangs on the glass to lure Grayson closer, allowing Veronica to open the door and call out. When Grayson rushes in, Joplin throws a blanket over him, and Veronica stabs his skull repeatedly with a knife until he's dead. Elsewhere, the car carrying Kelly, Space, and Marky returns to the studio. They close the gate quickly to keep zombies from following. However, one is already inside, so Space runs it over before Kelly jumps back. When they re-enter the compound, they spot Angel's undead body still in the pool, so Kelly shoots her in the head. The group then walks through the living room, unknowingly appearing on camera, letting Reek see them on TV. Excited, he realizes Kelly is alive. Alex inspects the outer gate and finds it surrounded by a massive horde. Reek insists on finding Kelly despite the danger, ignoring Alex's warnings. While exploring near the river, he notices the Big Brother house has direct access to the water, and there's a boat. The river loops around the TV studio, so he decides to use it to reach Kelly. Alex protests that it's suicidal but eventually agrees to come. They travel downstream until they reach a sluice gate blocking their path. Alex goes ashore to open it but is ambushed by a zombie. She fights back, knocks it down, and splits its skull with an axe. Reek arrives too late and finds Alex bitten. Handing him the axe, she asks him to end her suffering. After a brief farewell, Reek kills her and continues alone, rowing when the boat's engine runs out of fuel. At the studio, Marky stands on the roof, shooting any zombies that wander too close. In their office, Patrick grows restless. He fashions a weapon out of a lamp pole and forces Peepa to unlock the door. When zombie Dana bursts in, Peepa slams the door to trap her while Patrick stabs her repeatedly through the gap until she collapses. They finally leave the office, ignoring a zombie feeding nearby as they sneak past. Reaching the control room, they spot the other survivors on camera eating dinner. Patrick uses the loudspeaker to beg for rescue, but the group refuses, saying it's too risky. Furious, Patrick presses random buttons, blasting loud sound effects and dropping the house shutters. With no choice, the group agrees to help. Kelly and Space head out while Marky provides cover from the roof. When a zombie attacks, Marky shoots it. Another leaps at Space, but Kelly kills it with a gunshot. They find Patrick and Peepa and escort them back to the house. Upon arrival, Patrick immediately acts arrogant, trying to reassert control, annoying everyone. Determined to escape, he suggests cutting up Angel and Grayson's corpses and tossing the chunks outside to distract the zombies so they can cross the gate. The others are disgusted, but Patrick goes ahead and begins chopping alone while the girls break down crying. Meanwhile, Reek finally reaches land. The moment he steps onto the shore, a zombie spots him and gives chase. He sprints through the woods, with more undead joining the pursuit. Eventually, he finds a fence and climbs over it, leaving them trapped behind. After a long trek, he reaches the studio grounds and sneaks inside. Marky, watching from above, mistakes him for a zombie and opens fire. Reek ducks for cover, shouting that he's human, but Marky keeps shooting until Kelly intervenes and stops him. She runs to open the back door, and Reek rushes inside. They reunite emotionally, sharing a kiss. Kelly believes he came to save her, but Reek explains that the world has fallen completely, there's nowhere safe left. When Reek tells the others the same, Patrick refuses to believe him. Still insisting on his escape plan, Patrick declares he'll take the boat and leave alone. No one volunteers to join him, sparking a heated argument. When he tries to open the door, Kelly fires a warning shot. Patrick ignores her, so Space restrains him, and Reek knocks him unconscious with the axe. They tie Patrick up in the bathroom while debating what to do. Veronica argues that he's too dangerous to keep alive and suggests killing him in self-defense. Later, Joplin sneaks off to use the toilet and feels sorry for Patrick, removing his gag. Patrick manipulates him, claiming the group plans to kill him next and that everyone secretly mocks him behind his back. He tells Joplin the fans even called him Gollum and held signs about it. Joplin thinks it's a lie, until he overhears Veronica joking about the nickname. Furious and humiliated, Joplin returns to the bathroom. The others continue debating whether to disable Patrick instead of killing him. Suddenly, Patrick and Joplin burst out armed with the group's guns. Patrick grabs Kelly as a hostage while Joplin carries the car keys and a bowl of chopped flesh. They run toward the exit as the others chase. At the gate, Joplin drops the meat bowl and slips on it. Reek seizes the opportunity to tackle Patrick but gets shot in the process. Kelly rushes to him, trying to stop the bleeding, but Reek dies in her arms. Joplin climbs into the car and drives toward the gate, forcing Patrick to pick up the spilled meat and run after him. Enraged, Kelly grabs a fallen gun and fires at Patrick, but her aim is shaky, and she quickly runs out of bullets. Joplin opens the gate, letting the massive horde pour through. The zombies swarm him first, tearing him apart instantly. The remaining survivors dash back inside and slam the doors shut, leaving Patrick outside. He tries tossing chunks of flesh to distract the undead, but they overwhelm and kill him too. Now the horde is pounding on the doors, and it's only a matter of time before they break through. Space notices Peepa is missing and goes searching, finding himself in the control room. Using the microphone, he speaks to the others. Kelly begs him to lower the shutters, and he presses the correct button, sealing the doors and buying them time. Unfortunately, zombies begin gathering along the windows and mirrored walls of the house. Space warns his friends, and Kelly asks him to open the diary room. Before he can, zombies burst into the control room. He fights them off and runs to barricade the door. At the same time, part of the horde smashes through the windows and floods into the house, killing Marky and Veronica. Kelly defends herself with the axe while Space, realizing he's been bitten, retreats to the control room. He manages to open the diary room door remotely, allowing Kelly to hide inside. Surrounded, Space sees that one of the zombies closing in is Peepa. Kelly tells him that since everyone else is dead, he's technically the winner of this season's Big Brother. She pleads for him to open the next door so she can escape, but Space hesitates, knowing what's waiting outside. Kelly insists she can't stay there forever and promises to fight her way through. Accepting her decision, Space opens the door. Kelly rushes out screaming as the zombies close in. By the following morning, every remaining person, including Kelly, has turned into a zombie. Her lifeless stare appears on the live Big Brother broadcast, streaming across the entire country.